in action here at Cage Fury Fighting Championships. Coming up next, Patrick White, which I believe is his swan song, is making his way into the cage against Chris Perez. That'll be a featherweight bout coming your way here from the 2300 Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Marcus has a full-time job.
I need a wardrobe change due to the sweatness in this place.
Man,
Marcus did a great job, man.
He did a really nice job. He just showed his maturity in there as a fighter.
And he took some shots, and he did a nice job recovering, and he didn't rush to anything.
No,
which is key. You know, he timed his moves. Do it again.
You didn't hear it?
All right. We're doing pictures, folks. Yeah, but I really like the way that Marcus, waited patiently and set up his takedowns and didn't really rush into anything too quickly. So look forward to seeing him again.
Next bout coming up, 145. Chris Perez. And
is this Pat's last fight?
Pat White says it's his retirement fight. Pat White says he's retiring after this fight. He's got a little girl on the way. I think he wants to focus on being a family man and taking care of business. And
what Pat's got is some of the coolest tattoos I've ever seen.
He's got some crazy tattoos. I've seen them evolve in front of my eyes, Brian.
Good. Right.
When I first met him, not as many in the last year or so. Several more.
Good. That's really nice to hear because I know Pat very well. He's a great guy. Corrections guard.
Yeah.
Out there protecting the world we live in. A lot of respect for Pat. He's a guy that I think he had a lot of talent, had some ups and downs, and he can't always tell. The record doesn't always tell the story of a fighter. His last fight up at the Sands, he did a great job. He really used a lot of heart. Pat's got skills. He's got great stand-up, very poised, puts his combos together well. I think he's going to be the underdog tonight, though. I think that the favorite is going to be Chris Perez. I think Pat's stepping up to take on a tough fight, and I admire that, especially in what will be a swan song, fight here. So, but since Pat made the transition to Daniel Gracie's school and has been working hard, he definitely is. He's not the same fighter he was years ago.
When I first started training with Pat, the one thing when I found out his record, Pat's 3-7. It's no secret he's got some losses. But anybody, including yourself, that's seen him in the gym and trained with him, Pat's a really, really, really good fighter and a great athlete in the gym. The difference is, I think recently he's maybe found the anxiety, figured that out, trying to tackle that. I think a lot of fighters the amount of mental stuff that goes into preparing for a fight. And some guys handle that really well. Some guys feed off of it.
We were talking about Conor McGregor. As we take a look at Chris Perez, 3-2 out of Virginia, very talented young man, going to be in the blue corner making his way. Speaking about talented young men, we're talking about McGregor. He's a guy who does his best work. The more people you put in front of him, the better. And that is kind of what you're talking. Not everybody's built like that.
No, he wants to put on a show. He wants millions of people watching. He
probably does worse in the practice room. You've seen guys like that. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he probably gets hit. He probably doesn't lose his mind over it because he knows on the night when
he believes in
matters
himself because he's done it. Yeah. I'll never forget watching him practice the short hook in the room and then go out and throw it against Aldo. And that was the moment where any doubt was gone because I haven't seen that transition like that as many times as I would have liked. So really impressed with that, and we'll have to see who's going to step up tonight. But you're saying Pat White's resolve is part of the mental side of it. It's huge, a huge part of it. Stepping in there and a big show, everything that's at stake. it is the ultimate test, but it's also the ultimate reward, and you know that. So Pat White wants to come in. He wants to maybe, end it tonight. We'll see what happens, but great fighter. I'm excited to see Pat come in tonight. A brand new Pat White, if you will. Training's paid off with a fantastic team. Team Renzo Gracie under the leadership of Daniel Gracie, who is in his corner tonight. Getting ready to take a look at Pat entering the cage against Chris Perez. This will be a featherweight bout, 3 5-minute rounds. And we will go up to Dr. David Sarnoff for the official announcement as Pat White just gets checked out by the state. He'll be in here in just a second. And there he is. Now we'll go up to Dr. Dave and we'll get this one going. Pat White versus Chris Perez.
Tonight, the next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the CFFC featherweight division. This bout has been brought to us by Cage Fury Fighting Championships and is sponsored by Azad Watches, luxurious timepieces. Now, standing to my right, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 145.3 pounds, fighting for Capital MMA Alexandria, Virginia, Chris Perez. Now, standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 145.7 pounds, fighting for Enzo Gracie out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Pat Nighty Night White.
There's Pat White, man.
Referee in charge of the action once the bell rings, Jimmy Chappell.
Jimmy Chappell draws duty tonight. A lot of fans here tonight. You'll hear a lot of fans behind us, folks. We'll do our best to talk through them. Folks, we're underway. Pat White is going to be coming out of the red corner. He's in the green and black trunks. The torque trunks are that of Chris Perez, and he will be in the blue corner. Paul, what's Pat got to do to get it done?
Well, I think Pat's the bigger guy. Nice inside. Nice knee by Pat. Now, Chris tries to close the distance. He's going to try to lock him up here, but I think Pat's got some good takedown defense. He's got a wrestling background himself. A lot of people don't know that about him. So we'll see if he's able to keep him pressured and use his size advantage here, because Chris has fought at 135 pounds as well, correct?
Yes, and Pat's in the room training with guys like yourself, but also guys like Sean Brady.
Yeah, right. The strongest person I've ever met.
Who can, shoot a takedown from anywhere. So, he's definitely got the right training partners around him to have him prepared tonight. I think, as you had said, it just depends on what Pat White transitions in the cage tonight. And we know in sports and all athletics, no.
Tried to go for a little trip there. Got hit in the cup.
Low blow shot. I didn't exactly see it. I don't know if we'll have an opportunity to take a look at it on the replay.
I saw it. I
don't know if this happened to you. For me, over the years, the best solution to this was to sit on your rear and bounce yourself up and down. And I don't know what it is about it, but it seemed to make a difference. That should be
you can sit. Another thing is to jump up and slam down on your heels.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing
makes it feel great. Yeah, but you're right. There's a couple things to kind of get the blood flowing back to that area.
Now, I want to bring up an interesting point, something that Aljo and I talked about. Yeah. We were wondering what the number of fight finishes in that round after groin shots where the fighter doesn't take a lot of time is. Do you follow my logic there?
I do. That's a good point. I wonder what the statistics are there.
I really would like to take a deeper look at that, because you see the way that happens sometimes where the guys want to keep going.
Nice elbow by Chris there.
Does the groin strike play a role in the outcome of the fight? So food for thought. Maybe one of our loyal listeners can comprise that data and get it to us as we take a look at Chris Perez in top position here.
Pat's looking for a leg lock here, but he's eating some elbows in the meantime.
He's extending the leg well. Heel hook.
Going for a heel hook.
This can be a devastating finish.
Chris does a good job of rolling out of it. Pat's eating some big shots.
He's got to get out of there.
He's got to get out of there.
And that is why the leg locks are dangerous.
Super dangerous.
Leg locks like that, and Perez is a stout guy. He packs a punch. Pat's got to move. You go for the leg lock, you expose yourself, and that's exactly what happened. And
Pat's got to watch his neck here. Chris is looking to lock up maybe a Peruvian or a guillotine here. Pat's hooking the outside of the leg, which is smart, but he's eating some punches in the meantime.
And that's why the Polaris is such an interesting character, because he finishes all those leg locks, and no one has been able to really stop. Nice knee there. That hurt Pat. Pat's got to move. Good. Now see, Pat's Pat's loose. He's woken up. Good recovery by Pat White. But he lifts that knee right up again. That's not what he wants.
Yeah, he's got to be careful just flipping his leg up there like that. He's got to set it up more.
Yeah, it's a. See, I think Pat's
Chris is doing a good job so far. Of he realized he might have an advantage in the ground and pound here, and Pat's unfortunately went for that leg lock and kind of opened himself up for some big strikes.
Yeah, Pat's definitely going to want to not stay in this position. It's tough.
He's got to stop hooking under. I mean, I know there's a sweep there, but this is MMA, and Chris is taking full advantage of it and landing some big elbows.
You're right. If he's got to learn from the past and what's happened in the fight. We talked about having that brain on full charge. That
now Chris has it pinned. He's got his leg trapped, and he's just going to look to land short strikes from here.
You can't protect yourself with your hand if it's up the bucket there.
Yeah, if it's not in your face. And I don't know how much time is left in the round at the moment.
Yeah, we need to get the time up on the clock because it'll be interesting to see. Pat's going to have to regroup here. He needs to get back up on his feet and not take any more of those hammer fists. If I'm in the corner of Paris, I'm saying lay it on. Lay it on those punches.
Yeah.
Pat does not want a lot of those.
High-paced round for these guys so far, too. It'll be interesting if it gets to a second round to see where their cardio's at. Beautiful body kick
there. Man, Paris is a lot. Pat's
starting to open up back. Locking up a Kimura.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. Oh, man. Nice job by Pat White.
Wow, great Kimura sweep and attempt by Pat White.
How the arm went out. It looked like he had it. The arm just kind of flubbed out.
Yeah, that could not have felt good for Chris Paris. That was in tight. Now Pat's got to get back some ground and pound of his own. Instead, he's hanging off the top here.
Don't give that up,
Chris survives.
Got to be short time here. We lost our clock.
Great job by Chris.
Nice job by Chris.
Big elbows.
Now right in the mount. I tell you, Pat put everything he had into that Kimura, and I thought he had it.
Yeah. That did not look fun on the shoulders there.
Nice job there by both guys. Pat White did a nice recovery, punches off the cage. It definitely looks to be in shape.
Pat's getting crucifixed here. Not a good position. I'm hearing short time yelling by the corners. 10 seconds left. I think these guys will survive.
Yeah, Pat's got to protect himself there. I think he's going to make it, but he cannot take a lot of these short punches. So it's the end of round one. Great action here tonight. Pat White's frustrated. He did some good things.
Yeah, well, that Kimura attempt was, that might have finished a lot of other guys.
Yeah, maybe we can take a look at a replay. I don't even know how his arm went out. Like, it just literally, the submission was there, and then he somehow got it out. And you know how sometimes on the submissions when the guy kind of rocks his arm over, but man, that was close. So you see, Paris is a grappler. He's controlling him. He wants to continue in side control. Pat needs to get distance and use his strikes and try to land a big shot. Great fight and a great night of action here.
Chris doing a great job with the ground and pound. He obviously wants to keep it there. For Pat, like you said, I think he needs to maybe lay off the kicks and the knees and let his hands go a little bit and get his own take.
Second round action.
And he needs some submission attempts or more strikes, because that was, other than that Kimura, that round was all Chris.
All right, and there's round two, and there's our clock is up. 1, 2, 3, let's see. Pat cannot just lift that knee up and give a takedown. He needs to strike and move out. Come in, throw your punches, and then move. Pat's got great stand-up. He's got to use it. Chris Paris, I'm thinking if I was
looks a little tired. They both look a little fatigued at this point.
Taking a little break. Well, that first round was explosive for both guys. Understandable if there's a little bit of recovery time here. But if I was Chris Paris, I'd get it back to the round.
Pat's, he's got to lay off of that spinning back fist. It's only going to get him in trouble.
I would equate that to shooting from far away, you know. But Paris is running though here.
Yeah, he's a little on. He might be trying to recover still from the first round,
and that's when Pat should lay it on.
Good leg kick, but Pat's got to follow it up. Guys like to rush in on your leg kicks. Nice elbows by Pat, but Chris gets the takedown. He's got to use defense to get up, and Chris is going to want to kind of pull him away and just trap his head up against the fence and work some ground and pound.
And he kind of kind of saw that coming, you know. It was a little bit, you felt it. You felt that Parise wanted to take a minute, get a little more air, get him down to the ground. And Pat, although he was being offensive, didn't really see an opportunity there to do what he wanted.
This is not a good spot. Chris is doing a good job of coming across those legs and pinning Pat down here. This would be a good chance for him to really kind of unload a little bit. Pat's going to have to really hip escape and get out of there. Get his back on the fence and not flattened out.
Yeah, Parise definitely has the edge in cage control. And again, Pat lets that arm get trapped, as you had brought up. He's
really going for this leg lock again.
Go for it, Pat. Pat's going to go for it, but it doesn't look like Parise is very concerned. Great submission defense there by Chris Parise. You know, it's dangerous for him to let him take it that far, but it doesn't seem that he's
aware of it now, though. Unfortunately for Pat, Chris knows. You know, he's going on there, and that's a great opportunity for him to land these punches. I mean, that's a dangerous spot. You're literally leaving your head in this guy's lap with one arm to protect yourself.
Well, I'm sure Daniel Gracie and Mike Wilcox and all the talented people in his corner are going to tell Pat that we got to get off that leg. You got to protect, or you can't even use that arm to get yourself out, really, unless you hit that sweep.
Halfway through round two, excuse me. And Chris is starting to just land some good shots and showing his control.
Pat White's got a lot of heart, though, folks. He's got a really good chin. He's taking some big shots. He's doing everything he can to kind of recover. As you see a little laugh there, kind of taking the mental break. But Pat's got to improve his position. As you heard his corner all day here, Chris, and that's
this is where they want to be.
And that's the game you play, though. That's what they're going to do. They're going
to set up an arm triangle, Chris. But the fence seems to be getting in his way.
That's a stall tactic. You know that, Paul. That's just a way to keep the position and stay where you want. He doesn't want it to get stood up, and more than likely it wouldn't in this position. But
Pat needs to get that arm out desperately.
Back
to the leg again. He's coming close. It's a good attempt, but he's either got to find a way to use it to get up or finish it. Going for it.
Not going to like that. He's not going to like that kick. You see him go back into the ground. See, Pat should have tried to get up there and get back to his feet. So you can't win these fights on your back. It's right in the knee and belly.
Turns his back. He's got to use defense. Now, Chris is doing a great job of maintaining control, but Pat's also got to start trying to get his back up against the cage so he can actually work his way back up.
Chris is doing a good job of managing in a phone booth. Keeping it in a very tight place, which is a tough thing to do, but.
This is a bad spot in the middle. This is a worse spot with your head up against the fence. Because having your back against the fence is one thing. You can work your way up. Having just your head pressed up against the fence.
Pat's not done yet, though. I mean, he's still got short elbows there, but he's still got that. As far as looking at him, he is not mentally checked out yet, as we're at 30 seconds. He wants to go to round 3, but he's really going to have to. He's going to have to change things up here, Paul. He's going to do things differently. He's going to have to. Make a point not to be in this position for that round, or it's going to be trouble. As we are down to
18 seconds. Yeah, he can't be content to just go for heel hooks, and he's doing a good job of going for them. Don't get me wrong. Pat's showing that he's got submission threats.
Both guys kind of talking. The referee. That's what I was saying for Pat to stand it up.
This round's over.
And now they'll. Okay, both guys touch hands. That's the end of round 2. We're going to go into a third and final round of Pat White versus Parise. It's a tough fight. Tough fight for Pat. He's got his hands full. Parise is controlling the fight, and he's keeping him. He's not giving Pat a lot of space. Pat could change some things up, Paul, to get out a little bit better, but nonetheless, Pat's got to avoid being taken down here.
Yeah, 100%. He's got to start working his stand-up and his hands, and I say hands, meaning he's got to avoid the knees and the kicks, because what Parise is doing really well is waiting for that and catching on to something and getting the takedown and driving him to the fence. He knows Pat gets a little reckless with certain things, and he's waiting for it.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. So we'll have to see if Pat can put something together here. As you take a look in the corner, you have Daniel Gracie and other coaches there of Pat White. As what could be Pat's third and final round. I know the referee is telling him to watch the
third and final round.
For extension knee kick.
Pat's got a nice fast jab, but he's got to follow it up. Maybe work the body a little bit as well. Telegraph kick there by Parise, but hard.
Just doesn't feel like Pat's been able to get off tonight, you know, like to really fire his best shots, because we know he's got some crisp stand-up. I just don't know if he's really found it yet.
Nice leg kick.
I mean,
he's got to answer that leg kick.
Yep.
He can't let Chris just.
Well, if he's trying to count, waiting to time that to counter it, but you know, Parise has really inflicted some damage here. So you have to see what he can put together here. Knee attempt there. Big takedown.
Nice takedown by Chris.
In defense, Pat had an opportunity for a knee there, but he just didn't fire it. He lifted it up again, and that's a mistake he's made in this fight. He's lifted that knee up and given it to Parise, and that's something he can't do. Parise has caught it every time, so that's been a difference maker in this fight. And then Parise doesn't give him an inch when he gets him on the ground. So
he's doing a great job. His grappling's on point. His ground and pound's on point. Pat's got to really work to get up here. Pat's got to use the fence to stand up here, get some distance. Chris is kind of doing a good job of working and smothering him here.
Frustrating night for Pat White, but nonetheless going in for another submission.
He's got to straighten the leg out. He's not going to get it if he doesn't straighten that knee out.
No quitting. Pat White keeps trying. Unfortunately, the leg submission, the knee bar and the heel hook hasn't been there. He keeps trying, though. I love the effort put forth. He looks to wall walk or cage walk here, but man, you know, Parise just transitions back and forth, and now he's in mount.
Yeah,
and you know, he's pinning
almost
Pat's
halfway through
down.
round 3 here.
I have to say, Parise, man, he's kind of kept the same pace. He hasn't really looked to finish.
Yeah, there he's throwing some big punches here.
Yeah, Pat can't take many more of these. Head and arm attempt there from mount.
Yeah, this is not good. Chris.
There's still time for him to.
He doesn't have his head on the mat yet. Yeah, he fights out of it. These guys are talking to me, Brian.
Oh, that's always fun. Whoa!
Oh wow!
Knocks that knee. You know, I think it's more of the same for Chris Parise as they are right here in front of Paul and I. But you know, rather than look to do the arm escape or the elbow escape, Pat's continued to reach in and go for the leg lock.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe changing it up, but again, he's threatened from there a few times. But
crucifix attempt here. Pat's stuck in a bad spot here.
It's a terrible position to be in. So.
Yeah, Pat's definitely got to get out of this. The ref's taking a close look right now.
Jimmy
got to get that arm out.
Nice job by Chris Parise to control this fight. Pat's looking to try to cage walk to use himself to get out of there. And again, you know, I really like this Parise case, very balanced, but he hasn't finished. He's had opportunities. He seems to be coasting a little bit. He's happy with where he's at. I'm not sure what the method is there. Pat's just too tough, you know, so.
Yeah, Pat tries to kick out and scramble, but. Oh, little up kick there by Pat.
Down to 35 seconds. And Jimmy's gonna stop it there. That's gonna be it. So.
Nice finish there.
You know, I mean, a tough fight. Tough fight for Pat. You know, I really like this kid. He's just an all-around great guy, and it's tough to see anybody go down. But you know, Chris Parise is a beast, and he really did a nice job tonight. So let's give him the credit that he deserves. Great job controlling the fight. Excellent grappling. Pat White, I hope he's not done. We'd like to see him again, but whatever Pat chooses to do, we wish him the very, very best, and hope that he's okay. He may have a little bit of a a nose injury here. But that's going to wrap up Pat White versus Chris Parise. Chris Parise gets your TKO victory in round 3 with only a few seconds left, and the doctors are going to take a long look at Pat, make sure that he is okay. But nonetheless, the Alexander, Virginia product moves to 4-2. He's a young man you want to keep your eye on at 145. Doing a very good job, so we will be back in a little bit. We're going to take a short second here for the doctors to take a look, but we will go up for the official announcement once Pat is cleared, and we will do a brief interview with Chris Parise, your victor tonight. Folks, we still have some fights coming your way that you do not want to miss. Shane Hurricane Burgos is coming your way. Sean Brady is coming your way. Sean Shorty Rock Santella is coming your way. In our main event, Jeremiah Wells takes on Emmanuel Wallow for the welterweight title. Cage Fury Fighting Championships 56. And we'll be back with the official announcement in just a few seconds from Dr. David Sarnoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, this battle was stopped at 4 minutes and 28 seconds in the 3rd round. Winner by TKO, holding his 2-month-old baby Luca. Out of the blue corner, Chris Parise.
Chris, well, congratulations on the fight, buddy, and on your little boy here, man. So obviously, I don't even need to ask. You were fighting for more than just another win on your record. How does it feel to be holding your son and get the W tonight, buddy?
Sorry, I'm out of breath still. That guy's really strong. I don't know. I'm gonna think through it next time I move up a weight class. But before anything, I'd like to thank Pat and the Gracie team. Phenomenal camp. It's a surreal moment, you know, when you come from where I come from, grow up the way I did. It doesn't settle in until you have a kid, you know. And today, it wasn't about the money or anything. It was just trying to do something for my son, man, you know. I don't know what a father is, you know. And it's a blessing to do it in the CFFC cage in front of this crowd in Pat's hometown and try to be like you one day.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And again, congratulations on the son and another great victory, man. And I know what it's like to have a little baby and be in there and fight. So, you know, on behalf of myself, congratulations on both. And Pat is a tough SOB, man, to get in here and get the finish late in the 3rd. Anything else you want to say to anybody who came here to watch you tonight?
I'd like to thank everybody who came up. My 1-6 Bravo brother Rios, Rob from my building, you know, Leo, anybody who came out, all of my ladies' friends who came out, everybody at home. I have family en Uruguay y Argentina que están mirando también. Muchas gracias por ordenar la pelea y nos vemos pronto.
Congratulations, Chris. Good job, buddy. Enjoy it. Pat, real quick, hurry up.
Guys, I just want to announce I can't put my family through this anymore. This is my last fight. Thank you, Chris.
Pat, always fun watching you, brother. We love you, and thank you. Pat White, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, congratulations. Great fight, guys.
Hey, thank you, Paul. Folks, Pat White says goodbye to a nice career. We always appreciate his efforts. Chris Parise gets it done. Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans, come your way. We'll be back after this.
If you're looking for a